Hello everyone, today we're going to do another example from your textbook. This is example 5.1.1, the kick calculator, which is located on page 39. So the first thing you want to do, as you can see here, I've entered some generic information about the problem. I've given a title, my name, the institution, and then the date, as well as some input parameters, such as the initial speed and the initial angle. Once you've done this, you want to go into Visual Basic, so we'll go to the Developer tab, and then click on Visual Basic. Once you've done this, you want to insert a new module, like we always do. Alright, and then once you have that, you want to put in your generic information, so give it a single quote, then your name, and then the date. Alright, now once you've done that, you can start writing our program. So we're going to call this subroutine sub KickCalc. And then you hit enter, and Visual Basic creates a subroutine for you. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is get our input data. So we'll give it a single quote, input data. Alright, so we're going to select from sheet 1. So type in sheets. Then interface, close quote, close parenthesis, dot select. Then we're going to select our range, which is cell B8, dot select. Hit enter. Oh, you see I forgot to put in the extra quote here. I'll close the quote. So go back and put that in. Hit enter, you're all set. And now we're going to be defining the initial velocity. So we're going to say VI, which is the initial velocity, equals active cell dot value. Alright, so we've written in our first piece of data. From here, if we want to read in our next piece of data, we could either go and do the same thing and type in range and then define our initial angle. But instead, we're going to set an active cell offset. So what we're going to do is type in active cell dot offset, and then hit the parenthesis, and then you can see we're given the option of row offset and column offset. So if we select any positive number for the row, we'll move down one row, and for the column, move over to the right one column. So we want to move down one row, so we're going to do 1, 0, dot select, then hit enter, and then we're going to say a sub I, which is our initial angle, equals the active cell value. Alright, once we have that, we want to get our calculation, so we're going to start, give it a little space, single quote, calculation, hit enter. We're going to enter the equations we're going to use. So it's going to be Vx naught equals Vi times cosine parenthesis AI for your initial angle times 3.14159 divided by 180. Alright, then hit enter. Now we're going to do the velocity in the y direction. So Vy naught equals Vi times sine of AI times 3.14159 divided by 180. This is basically just finding the x and y component of our velocity. So hit enter. Now TR equals 2 times Vy naught divided by 9.81, which is just the gravitational constant. And then XR equals TR times Vx naught. Alright, once you've entered in the calculation part of our subroutine, we want to get our output results. So we'll do single quote, output results. Alright, we're going to select our range to be cell B12. Dot select. And we're going to call that active cell dot value equals tr. Okay, now instead of doing the same thing by calling out the range of the next cell, we're just going to do an offset. So do active cell dot offset. You want to move one row down and no columns. Dot select. So now we've moved down one cell, and we're going to set that cell equal to XR. So we're going to say active cell dot value equals XR. All right. Now once you have that done, you have the program written. So you can either run it from here by clicking in front of your subroutine and clicking play, or what we're going to do instead is we're going to go create a button. So what we want to do is go back into Excel. Alright, once in Excel, under the Developer tab, go to Insert, Button, and again, just like before, you just click and drag to create your button. You want to assign it to the KickCalc subroutine, so click on that and click OK. Alright, now your button's created, and you can label it. I'm going to call it Run, as I always do, because it's going to run a program. Click off of it, then click Run. Now you can see we got an error here. We can go into Debug. Okay, so it's not recognizing the selected sheet as interface. So what I forgot to do was in the Excel spreadsheet, you need to change the name of sheet 1, because that's what it's looking for actually. We'll rename it and call it interface. So by change the name, you right click on the tab and just click rename. Then you can type in the name. So now we should click run and you're all set. Visual Basic knows where it's gathering the data from. So before, again, it was looking for sheet 1. So back in our program, our input data is coming from sheets, and then it was looking for sheet 1. And what we actually had to call was interface, because that's what we're referencing. So we go back in, see it's called interface, and we get results. And now the beauty of the run button is we can change our values. So we'll call that 65, and then click run, and you can see this matches the results on page 45, which is the end of the program. So thank you very much, and that's the end of the program.